Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to see you again in another episode of our Groz-Beckert Sewing videos. Today we would like to start a small series on the most common stitch types. We will explain the different stitch types, how they are defined, how they are built and where they are mainly used. Let's start the series with a closer look at stitch type 301, which is the double thread lock stitch. To better understand the topic, we will start with some basic information. As officially defined, sewing is the process of passing one or more threads through one or more layers of fabric with the purpose of interlacing the threads and creating a seam. This can be done either by hand or by a machine. As there are different ways to create a seam, 6 basic stitch type classes have been defined. They differ in the geometrical arrangement of the stitches and the number of threads used. While stitch type classes 100 and 200 are created with only one thread, stitch type classes 300 and 400 require 2 threads. And stitch type classes 500 and 600 require 3 or even more threads. Let's now go into the details of stitch type class 300. Stitch type class 300 defines the double thread lock stitch, which is formed with 2 different threads. The most common stitch type in this class is stitch type 301. To better understand how a double thread lock stitch is created, take a look at our animation. As said before, we need 2 different threads to build a double lock stitch seam. So we have a needle thread, which is the green in the animation, and we have a bobbin thread, which is the yellow. To build the stitch, the needle penetrates the fabric and inserts the needle thread. As the needle moves back up, a loop is formed on the scarf side of the needle, which is then picked up by the hook. At the same time, the take-up lever releases an additional amount of needle thread, which is necessary to build up the stitch. At the moment the looper puts the needle thread around the bobbin thread, excess needle thread is pulled back by the take-up lever. The stitch knot is pulled into the fabric and the stitch is built. If you would like to see the details again, you can watch the full animation in our customer portal or in our YouTube channel. Now that you have seen how stitch type 301 is formed, let's take a look at its characteristics and main applications. The main characteristic of double lock stitch seams is that they are not very flexible and difficult to undo. For this reason, they allow a tight closure of the layers and are very durable. Therefore, they are used whenever the seam must be very strong. Furthermore, the seam looks the same on the top and on the bottom side of the fabric. Due to its versatility, the double thread lock stitch can be found in many applications. For example, it is used in closing seams or for attaching labels, pockets, zippers, or collars on upper and outerwear. In the leather, upholstery and automotive sector, it is also used to create decorative seams. When it comes to needles that are used for double lock stitch seams, it is to say that lock stitch needles characteristically have only one long groove that always face the threading direction. The most common needle systems are DB Cross 1, 134, 134-35 and 135 by 17. So that is all for today and for the double thread lock stitch. Follow our channel so you don't miss our video where we will go into the details of the double thread chain stitch. Until then, visit our customer portal to find all the information on our sewing machine needles and sewing. I hope to see you soon.